do you have any advice for the students?
I always believe that...
Hi Aditya. Sorry. Rolling, huh? I am Avik. I'm a lecturer at Fashion Communication Department at IIAD. Today I have Creative Director and Stylist Aaditya Walia with me. Hi Aditya, how's it going?
Hi, I'm Aaditya Walia. As Avik introduced, I'm a creative director and a founder of my own company called Paralove. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, and thanks for hosting the masterclass at IIAD. I would just want to ask you a few questions, if I may.
Absolutely, yeah, go ahead.
If you can talk about a bit of your experience. I mean, we all know that you worked at Vogue, so how did it all happen and where did it start? Just briefly, we can just talk about.
So basically, it's been a long journey. When I started to look out for opportunities in the industry from a styling perspective, I think I was kind of at a very, styling was just kind of getting started. So there were very limited opportunities. It took me a while to figure out where in the industry do I fit in. I think the first absolute thing which I did and which everybody should do is to go and experience, assist somebody senior, just to kind of get into the industry and to understand how the whole business of fashion works. And you get to experience a lot more than what you really study in college, right? You come out of the understanding which is given in college to a practical ground reality. So I had the good experience of working with some great people, and then eventually I landed up my first job with India Today Group, and eventually worked my way up into multiple art and fashion magazines, and then put together a portfolio, and constantly I used to reach out to the aspirational magazines, editorials I wanted to work with, and I had the great pleasure of finally landing up a job at Vogue and work with Anita, who I used to really look up to. And that time, Vogue was doing really well. It had just come to India like a few years ago. So they were really pushing the boundaries, pushing the limits, experimenting a lot, and really putting fashion out there in a country like ours. So I wanted to be part of that team and wanted to be in that space where I'm part of the change-making process. So yes, had a great time, and that's how I landed my job at Vogue.
Okay, that's great. Now let's target the elephant in the room. I mean, there's a lot of conversation about print versus digital. I mean, we all talk about that print is dead or probably it's not. But I want to ask you something very particular. We all know in magazine, in a September issue has always been a very, very prevalent issue. So do you think in the digital age, does September issue still hold that value? Do you think it's still there?
Absolutely it does. See, how things transition from newspaper to digital, so everything holds its value in its own manner. You'll always have people who will love the post-modernization of things, and there will be people who hold the nostalgic things very dear, because we as a community, as humans have evolved from a certain segment to a certain segment, but those things do hold value to us. Yes, of course, the majority of the people will shift the medium from print to digital, but having that exposure and keeping both the things together, it makes sense. We can't just let something as beautiful as print die down, but we got to evolve with time, accept the new change, and also be part of that change. Instead of giving resistance to that, we should accept it gracefully and combine the two and make it interesting for the viewers or for the intended audience.
Yeah, and I also feel the core grammar is still the same. I mean, how print is transitioning to digital. I mean, the layout is the same, the grammar is the same. It's a different medium that you're tapping onto, and that's exactly probably you're trying to say.
Yeah, absolutely. I think from print to digital to now AI, I feel these are just tools of communicating your visual aesthetics. So just the medium is changing. I think the core still remains the same. At the core, we are trying to be a creative industry and trying to cater to the audience who loves creativity, who loves to see passion, who loves to see fashion in a certain manner. So it's just a change of medium, and we accept that, and we innovate in a new way with newer mediums. I think it's a fab way of presenting something new and stimulate your audience. Something that they've already seen with newer mediums. We get into newer zones, newer dimensions, and the audience have something more interesting to see. And you keep yourself relevant and be more innovative through these mediums.
That's great. I'm going to ask you a little difficult question. Can you name like one favorite campaign that you have done, either in past or in recent past?
We have, me and my team, we've done numerous amount of good campaigns, which I hold very dear to my heart. But one of the campaigns which we've done recently, which comes to my mind, is the Apple campaign. First of all, getting an opportunity to work with a brand like Apple, whose design language, whose visual campaigns we see. It's great because it's aspirational. They're always breaking the barriers. Their campaigns are not the usual campaigns. They're always trying to break that monotony, especially when we see in the tech space how they bring together the design and tech so beautifully together. So when I got approached to do the Apple campaign, I was like, great. I got to work with a fantastic team. It was a mix of the Californian team and the team from Singapore. And they wanted to shoot in India because the intended audience was the Asian markets and the Indian market. So for me, that was an amazing project to be a part of, where I got to experience the Western world, basically looking at India through the Western lens and perspective, and how I brought that Indianness to that campaign, keeping the ethos of India, yet putting together the design language and aesthetic they had. That was fantastic, because I never thought that fashion could be such an integral, important part, like design and fashion could be a part of their campaign. So that really gave me a very open, newer perspective of how we can reach out to so many different campaigns, so many different brands through our own aesthetic and bring something new to the table.
Yeah, sounds lovely actually. Now, I'm going to ask you, you just held a masterclass at IIAD. How was your experience, and do you have any advice for the students?
First of all, I was very happy. Thank you for inviting me to be part of this masterclass. I always believe that so many of us who come from so much of experience, who've seen so many transitions happening, over a period of time, to share it with the next generation, because they are the ones who are the torch bearers, going to take it forward. The experience was very warm, very nice. Lovely to see a completely new perspective of how the newer generation is thinking, how they are adapting to how the technology is coming in, newer design language is coming in. So I had a fantastic time. Also got a different insight into what the future of fashion looks like. It definitely looks brighter, nicer. I'm glad that the students are more open to experimenting. They are bringing a new design language, new thought process, thought-provoking ideas to the table, and they're very bold about it, and they're very open about it. And they do not hesitate to express themselves, which I feel is something amazing to see.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for doing this for IIAD, and we would love to have you back again.
Absolutely, my pleasure. I hope to see you guys again soon.